I'm going to focus today on specific areas of need, and I'm going to focus primarily on safety. So we're working with clients specifically to improve detection and confirmation times for incidents. I work with clients in some cases that have very robust incident detection and confirmation systems. Even within those, we're finding some opportunities to use this type of data to gain precision and save time. Certainly the value of the data tied into these individual driver movements can help us tailor our operational strategies, whether it's signal timing, more in my case, active traffic management strategies, and using it to support improved traveler information efforts. You see on the right, I've noted the estimated cost of a traffic fatality. From a dollar standpoint, obviously, dollars isn't the primary focus. Here at Atlas, we talk daily about making sure everybody gets home safely and arrives back to work the following morning. So this data can provide insights into how we ensure that happens for everyone around us. Go ahead. A couple of use cases that have stood out for us from a toll facility standpoint have been incident detection, and I'm going to dive pretty specifically into that here in a moment, and queue detection and management. So I've got clients here where as queues form, the ability to aggressively identify secondary risks for secondary incident based on queue length and the speed with which queues are forming was really our initial goal in diving into this type of data source. Go ahead and continue. And of course, I use this slide in a lot of my work. I've got a client here who has a two-way interface between their traffic and incident management system and computer-aided dispatch. But at the end of the day, the holy grail for what we're doing in incident detection is the ability to shrink that timeline between incident occurrence and verification. All these new types of data sources show the opportunity to dramatically impact that. If we can shorten that time, we can get responders to those folks quicker, and in the long run, we can reduce the amount of time our responders and the folks out in the roadway are potentially in a dangerous situation. Continue. This is a very boring old school graphic. What I've learned in all of our data markets is there are a lot of different ways to slice and dice data. In this case, we simply showed the breadcrumb trail and the change of vehicles moving from lane 4. We've kind of got a time lapse here. And then we went back in and compared the graphic on the far right. You can start to see where vehicles have slowed down and start to move out of lane 4. And next slide. That ended up being a key part of our validation for not the world's largest sampling of events, but we're fortunate in this case to have a lot of events that are very well documented. I mentioned earlier this client has a two-way interface with computer-aided dispatch. So once a call comes in, the total event record is available to us to look at. Not every event can be identified through this type of data. Certainly, if I've got extremely low volumes at 2 a.m., it's hard to get that, and vehicles and travelers move differently. But at the end of the day, for this basic sampling, for about 2/3 of the events we analyzed, we believe we could save about 2 minutes in incident detection time. And again, this is with a set of data and a client who has a very robust incident detection and management system. Continue. At the end of the day, there are a lot of opportunities. I've used all sorts of data over many years. The key is to apply it correctly. Carl and the team there at Streetlight, the ability to get delivery in a timely manner, and he mentioned kind of the timeline and the resolution of the data. We work very hard with clients to ensure we're applying penetration rates properly to their use case and need. I love all this data. As those penetration rates go up, different applications are going to get the most value from it. We're having fun as we dug into this data further. And my colleagues here on the call are already digging into this. The ability to look at performance in work zones, either in real time or offline or during phasing changes is notable. The ability to look at unique conditions. There are things that happen in the roadway that we get delays or periodic issues that we don't necessarily understand after the fact with some of our traditional data sources. When I get to individual vehicular movements, we can really dig into that. Wrong edge cases like wrong way drivers, again, there's a function of penetration rate, but certainly older geometrics, whether it's horizontal vertical curves, other lane drops and ads, those things for those type of locations, this type of data provides a great opportunity to dig into what traffic is really doing. Next slide. As I've commented, I've been working in this industry for about 30 years, ranging from single loop a lot of inductive loop work. I've worked with adaptive ramp metering algorithms. There's room in our space for all of the types of data. The key again is to apply it to the right applications. And certainly with the level of granularity, the cloud-based solutions are fantastic. And certainly we don't necessarily need as much infrastructure if we're going to deploy. I left some boxes unchecked on the left. That's part of some of our next steps with Streetlight and others in this great space. Continue. With that, we're going to continue to monitor client needs. Carl was on a call with me with another client. All of our clients and agencies have different, very specific needs tied to a lot of parameters or inputs to what they do. So we try to work together with all of our providers to make sure we're focusing on those needs first, identify within the data sets whether we can fulfill those use cases or to what degree. And we look forward to seeing the benefits of this data with many clients. We're continuing our evaluation with the Streetlight data with Illinois Tollway. And frankly, we're also aligning it with some CV to X work that I'll talk about in the Q&A as well. Thank you.